Hello, this is Matt at Rent a Camper. This is the control panel and heating instructions for our Swift 686 6-berth motorhome. So first thing you do once you get to your campsite, plug your electrical cup lead in, plug it into the campsite on the post and press the power button on. That's now supplying power into your motorhome. If you press the cabin lights, that supplies power to all the lights in the motorhome. They're all individually switched, so you can turn them on and off if you like. As long as the cabin light button is switched on, you've got power to them. And you can just turn it off when you're not using them. View levels. This shows you how much power is in your leisure battery, and this is your van battery. Don't need to worry about that one. The main one to worry about is the leisure battery. At the moment it's showing quite low. I need to charge it up before it goes out on higher. If your leisure battery is coming down towards this sort of power, you do need to be plugging in to electrical cup to charge the batteries back up. The motorhomes are equipped with solar panels, but if you have the heating on and the telly on for quite a while, this can use the leisure battery power quite a lot. Also on the view levels, you've got your fresh water. So on a motorhome you've got onboard water. In this motorhome it's 80 litres. This shows you how much is in it currently. When it gets down to the yellow, you need to be filling this up on your campsite. The other side is your wastewater, so all the water that goes through your sinks, and if you use the shower, goes into a waste tank at the back of the van. This tells you how full it is. In the summertime you want to keep that as empty as possible because they can smell. We do ask customers don't put any food or anything down the drains, just making sure it's clean pots before you wash them. So if it starts getting up, you've got to go and empty this on a campsite called grey waste. There's a tap at the back of the van which I'll show you on the exterior show round. Do not empty it at the side of the road. Water pump, turn that on. That puts pressure to your taps and also makes the toilet flush work. Quite important, if you're not using your taps or you're not using the shower or the toilet, turn that off. This is just in case you get any water leaks, which doesn't really happen, but it'll ensure that if there is a burst pipe or anything like that, it doesn't flood the van. So literally put that on when you're wanting to use your taps or your toilet, turn it off when you're done. Note under there. This is just showing that we're running on the leisure battery, so while you're in the motorhome it'll run on the leisure battery. If this one lights up, it means that it's just charging the van battery. That's for an outside light, and that button, if that comes on, that's just showing that you've got 240 volt into the van. Heating and hot water instructions. So when you come to the panel, it'll look like this. You press the centre button and you've got 4 options at the top. These are the only options you need. First one, you scroll across. So scroll across with the button, go on to that setting, which is your power setting. Press the enter button, you've got a choice. You can either have the motorhome on gas, or you can have it on electric. There's several different settings, but you only really need 2. So gas if you're not plugged into electrical cup, electric 2 if you're plugged into your campsite. So I'll put it on gas because I'm not plugged in at the moment, so gas. Scroll across the little camper van, see it flashing? Press it. Currently this is for the heating, so it's staying off at the moment, so what you do is set your temperature. Press enter. So that means your heating will now come on. It's a blown air system, it blows out all the vents located around the motorhome. And once it starts going, you'll hear it. It gets faster and faster. And then what you can do, after about 5 minutes, you can go across to the fan and it'll have a high setting, and there'll also be a boost setting. As I say, it takes about 5 minutes to warm up, so then you can set it on high. So at the moment, you've got heating on and your fan's on. While ever the heating's on, it'll also warm up the hot water. So it's basically a big kettle, 13 litres of hot water. It takes about 25-30 minutes to warm up. So as I say, when the heating's on, your hot water will be warming up too. It's not a combi boiler, so once you've used all that hot water, you've got to wait for it to warm back up again. If you want to just use the hot water on its own, I'll turn the heating off. Look, that's how you turn the heating off. Scroll it back to off, and that'll turn itself off. So if you just want hot water on its own, currently off, you've got 40, 60 and boost. You only need it at 40, that's hot enough really. You simply press it onto the 40 and it'll start flashing up here, look. So it's showing them on gas. When you're on electric, it's got two of them. So it's showing them on gas and it's showing that the hot water is on. Once that stops flashing, you've got hot water. And then just to switch it off, scroll it off, job done. So if there's nothing in the top of here, there's nothing that's actually turned on. So before you unhook your electrical cup from your campsite or you start the van, make sure this is empty. That means you've got nothing on. If something is turned on and you unplug your electric or you start the van, it will throw up a fault code. Normally, if it throws up a fault code, you can literally press the centre button. It'll turn it off. Leave it off for 5 minutes. Press the centre button. It should come back on, reset itself. There you go.